Pfizer, J&J, Astrazeneca, Sanofi, Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, Roche, and many other companies have made these deals kind of under the threat of higher tariffs. Many of these companies have committed to investing in domestic manufacturing, which I think, by the way, is a wonderful thing if it truly happens. So that's one thing that I think Trump has done good with his threatening. Pfizer especially has signed up to sell their drugs directly through trumprx.gov, which is a site that's going to launch in January of 2026.
Pfizer is the only one who's actually signed up officially to be on the site.
Okay. On the Trump RX
on the Trump RX site, okay?
Okay.
17 pharma companies were sent letters.
Ambience surpasses Abridge with record class rankings. Totally false. Because this is not a head-to-head comparison.
The two A's.
Yes.
Right? It's not Alcohol Anonymous, but it's Abridge and Ambience. But you got these two guys.
Yeah.
And to your point, they've all raised money, but these two guys have definitely raised a lot more.
Yeah.
They probably, if you sort of look at the buyout model, they have the power potentially to do more of the buying out.
Hello and welcome to Debunked, where we analyze the month's healthcare news with a dash of scrutiny and humor. So Samir, I don't know, again, as usual, I keep saying the same thing every month. The news comes so fast and furious. It's like by the time you get to the news of the month, it's like it's already old news. But nonetheless, we shall soldier on. We're going to start with the pharma industry's deal making with Trump. As you know, Pfizer, J&J, AstraZeneca, Sanofi, Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, Roche, and many other companies have made these deals kind of under the threat of higher tariffs from from Trump, essentially. He's saying that if you don't lower your prices and if you don't do A, B, and C, you're going to get hit with higher tariffs. So these deals are being struck. The interesting thing is that many of these companies have committed to investing in domestic manufacturing, which I think, by the way, is a wonderful thing if it truly happens. So that's one thing that I think Trump has done good with his threatening. Now, the lower prices, we'll see what's going to happen. I mean, most of these companies have also signed up, Pfizer especially has signed up to sell their drugs directly through trumprx.gov, which is a site that's going to launch in January of 2026. And what Trump is trying to do with that is allow average Americans to go and buy directly from pharma companies. Now, Novo, Pfizer, Eli Lilly, they've already sort of launched their own sites directly to the consumer earlier this year. And so I don't think they're going to have much of a problem trying to do this. And separately, the industry lobby, Pharma, the group, that trade association also announced the deal, saying that they're doing a new site called AmericanMedicines.com that is also going to launch. And so all these other companies like Novartis, Eisai, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing their name correctly, they're a Japanese pharmaceutical company, BMS, they each have said that they will sell their drugs through this American Medicines site. Now the challenge is that whether these things are actually going to lower prices as Trump wants to do for the American people. And a quick analysis is showing that perhaps not. So the analysts had expected, more pricing controls. They had expected more enforcement actions. That they worried would really devalue some of these companies that are all public. So they would depress the stock. But the deals, as much as the details that have come out, show that actually no, there are really no major enforcement mechanisms. There is no penalty if you actually don't do what you signed up for. So, but I still think the fact that they have committed to manufacturing is good. Domestic manufacturing is good. I don't know that this broad claim of lowering drug prices is going to happen. And if you look at the Pfizer deal, for instance, it's not a broad program. It is for certain income groups and through certain pharmacies, and it also caters to CMS. So certain drugs through CMS are going to, see lower costs. But what about the actual private individual, they still pay a regular copay. So for them, they're not going to see any prices going down. So I don't know. I kind of see it as, a mixed sort of deal where if these manufacturing things happen, as these companies are claiming, we will see some, American workers getting jobs, which I think is great. But the lower prices, I still think that that's probably not going to be achievable given the frameworks that we're seeing. Your take?
Wow.
Well, I went on for a long time. I had a lot to say.
No, not wow on you. Wow on this.
On what?
On this whole thing. First of all, the site's only going to go live if the shutdown is over.
Oh, the Trump article. Well, they said January 2026.
Who's going to work on that? Okay. It
Well,
takes time. But anyways,
hopefully before
Trump RX. I don't know if you guys have gone and checked this thing out.
I have.
Oh my God. It is not like a drug purchasing platform, discover platform, nothing. It literally looks like vote for me, look at me site. I mean, it reminded me, I'm like, is this like an OnlyFans site?
Oh, God.
I'm serious. I was like,
I have gone to the site. It does not look like a typical government website. I'll give you that.
Does not.
But, at this point, we know that Trump likes the attention. He likes flash. So I'm discounting that.
I thought I was like checking out some photographers, like, collage or some pictures.
All right.
Anyways, to my point.
Yeah.
Outside, now let me get serious, right?
Yes, serious.
No, so I think, look, here's the thing. Let's unpack this thing, right? So you have the platform, the site for lower, selling lower price drugs to consumers. There's the most favored nations sort of model, and then there's sort of the third part, which is, hey, move R&D manufacturing, to the States. Totally with you. Super, super thumbs up on that. But let's just be clear about one thing. Pfizer is the only one who's actually signed up officially to be on the site. Okay?
On the Trump RX
On the Trump RX site, okay?
Okay.
17 pharma companies were sent letters.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe they're still considering.
But that's what I'm trying to say. So it's officially, it's just one.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Pfizer.
Yeah.
And Astrazeneca agreed to do most favored nations pricing. The others have not responded. There's no public announcement on their acceptance.
So far, yes, correct.
Okay, so far.
Yeah.
So this has been rolled out this summer. One is on.
Yeah.
And one also has said, I'll do MFN, but that's it.
Yeah.
Right? Now, let's unpack the whole thing. You're going to sell lower priced prescription medications, and primarily it's focused on primary care and some specialty. Okay. To your point, if you are covered by insurance, which like a lot of people are, like almost like a majority, what price break are you going to see? So you're not going to really see that. So now you're targeting people who are just doing private pay. And then you're talking about patients who are on Medicaid. Well, Medicaid has their own negotiations.
And they pay the lowest price anyway.
So I don't understand who's going to benefit here. I think it's a good idea, but I just don't understand the execution. Now, you talked about guardrails. Well, if there are no guardrails, easily Pfizer, whoever can sit there and say, oh yeah, buy these drugs. And you go there and it's like, oh, sorry, supplies run out.
Yeah.
There's no more stock. Like, that's very easy to say because you're not putting any guardrails on
No,
me.
I hear you.
You're doing price. You're not saying supply, demand meets supply, all that sort of stuff.
So here's my question on that. There is some reputational risk when you go the consumer route.
I don't disagree. But honestly,
or does it not matter?
I to a certain extent.
Okay.
These look from a general perception perspective, right? American public perception. Drug companies have been like for decades. They're hearing that they're the evil. They're selling. Do they really care?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I didn't honor the Trump RX site. Like, oh yeah, you ran out of supply or whatever. We're still setting up manufacturing stateside. There's always spin and excuses there, and I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But my point is that you're not putting any guardrails on there, right?
There's no accountability.
There's no accountability. You're not sitting there going, hey, if you put these drugs on there, you have to supply them in a meaningful. And then the other point is timely delivery. Like, who's sitting there telling you, are you promising a time frame? No, you're not. Like, I don't know. We don't know. Maybe there are specifics
Yeah.
that they just haven't been revealed to the public, so we don't
Yes.
know what the specifics
True.
are.
That's possible.
And then the other thing is, how does this interface with the entire workflow of delivery of pharmacy, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about formularies, co-pays,
Yeah.
distribution. There's no details on
Yeah.
any of that stuff. So again, I don't think it's a I don't think what he's doing or trying to do from an objectives perspective is a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
Why are we not getting MFN from all our own U.S. pharmaceutical companies?
Yeah.
Yes, you should always give people the option of like, hey, you don't want insurance to cover it, buy it direct. Like, of
Right.
course you should.
Yeah.
Most Western countries and even other countries where private pay is the king and the rule,
Right.
you just go and buy drugs yourself,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's just like, you just go do it.
I mean, that's the whole premise of Cost Plus Drugs, Mark
Correct.
Cuban's company. He was at Health,
Yes.
but I arrived after he did. Otherwise, I would have loved
he
to
was
have asked
going
him.
on the PBM stuff again.
I know,
heard,
I
you
know.
so
I would
yeah.
have loved to ask him, like, what do you think of TrumpRx.gov or
Yeah.
AmericanMedicines.com? Because he's been doing this for a while
And he's
now.
partnering with government now too,
He
right?
is, yeah,
So I
yeah.
think there's a, so I think this is interesting. I mean, one pharma being on there publicly, completely announced, I don't think is. I'm like, all right, so what? Like, I
Doesn't
need
move the
more.
needle as
I need
much, yeah.
more,
So we
you
need
know?
more. Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense. All right, so now, of course, we're recording soon after the annual health
Yeah.
conference concluded. I know some of you were in Vegas, but you were not at Health. But I'm sure you saw the flurry.
I was there, but not there.
Yeah.
I was there.
You were there.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you saw the flurry of the Ambient AI company press releases. So I'll mention a few.
Yeah.
For example, Nabla, excuse me, they announced Nabla Connect. Basically, EHR vendors can use Nabla's Ambient AI technologies on any
Yeah, kind of out of
platform.
the box.
Yeah,
almost, yeah.
out of the box, without any of the engineering burden, without any of the compliance issues or long development cycles if you were trying to do this in-house. So that was Nabla. Then this was really funny, and I'll read it out. There was a PR person who reached out to me on behalf of Ambience. And Class Research, as you know, the group that does,
Ratings.
talks to providers and, puts out reports on interesting, tech and other stuff in healthcare. They put out this study called Top 20 Emerging Solutions, and they do this every so often, right?
Yeah.
So this year, Ambience did really well in that. And last year, Abridge did very well in that. So
There's no pay to play here, fellows.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's any pay to play. Really, here, there is no pay to play. But the PR person representing Ambience sends me an email. The subject line says, Ambience surpasses Abridge with record class rankings. Totally false, because this was not a head-to-head comparison. So Abridge was reviewed last year through that report. They were not even reviewed this year for this particular report. And the actual press release actually never mentioned Abridge.
Your tops if the other person's not there.
So I was like, man, this is pretty misleading. But anyway, Ambience has done really well in terms of improving patient outcomes, improving the clinician experience and all that. So hats off to them for that. But hey, you know what? Perhaps you want to teach your public relations person not to send misleading information. Abridge didn't issue any press releases that I know of. Then there's Suki. Suki did have a press release right before Health, saying that they now are able to do revenue cycle management, and they're using AI and smarter codes to create this to basically be more accurate in terms of the document that they produce. The interesting thing is now everyone knows it's not just the four. There are tons of other standalone ambient AI companies, and many will shut down or be bought, especially given the news we reported a few months ago, which is Epic working with Nuance to develop an in-house ambient AI tool. But what about these big ones that we've been talking about who've raised a gazillion amount of dollars?
Is accurate too.
What?
Gajillion's accurate.
Gajillion is accurate. So gajillion amount of dollars. What happens to these four? Now, everyone agrees that there's consolidation, but no one, and I mean no one, is bold enough to predict what happens to these four companies? Samir, I'm looking at you. Will you be bold enough to make some predictions around whether these four companies will be standing next October, November, when we talk again? Given that there are so many, strategics that are looking at the place, there are PE companies in this space with lots of money. So, your thoughts and predictions.
Wow, I usually get to be Nostradamus privately in my own room.
All right.
This is going to be fun. No, this is super fun. Crazy assumptions aside,
Yes.
or maybe included.
Included and speculation.
Yes. And there's multiple different avenues that could happen here. There's consolidation, there's mergers, there's buyouts, there's
Sure.
acquisitions, whatever it may be.
Sure.
Yes, yes, and yes, and yes, and yes. I think over the next 12, 18 months, I put my predictive measure at about 70%.
Woo,
That there's
70%.
something is going to happen. There is going to be some consolidation. Like you mentioned, all the promising upstart, compared to these four, the little guys, they're either going to fizzle away,
Yeah.
or they will get swallowed up by these guys as well. Who knows, right? I think there's more chance that they just go away because there's just a lot of competition.
And there's no differentiation in the
There is
standalone
no
stuff.
differentiation. I mean, this is the big problem with AI from an overall perspective. What differentiation do you have when you can't protect your product? Like, right? There's no what's the protective layer? Oh, it's my data, it's my LLM, it's my data, it's my data integrity, whatever it is. But it doesn't stop anybody from entering your space, right?
Yeah.
The ability to enter
is low.
is low, right?
Yeah, the bar to enter, yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about these four.
Yes.
It's like the big four. I almost feel like I'm going back 20 years to the accounting firms when we used to have the big five or the big four.
Right.
Okay. All right. So let's separate them a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. The two A's.
Yes.
Right.
Abridge
It's not Alcohol Anonymous, right? But it's Abridge and Ambience.
I mean, the humor here is
Yeah,
the dad.
a lot of dad jokes.
Yeah,
Okay.
very dad.
Dad jokes.
Bad dad jokes.
Bad dad jokes.
All right, go ahead.
Come on, hashtag bad jokes. Okay. But you got these two guys.
Yeah.
And to your point, they've all raised money, but these two guys have definitely raised a lot more.
Yeah.
They probably, if you sort of look at the buyout model, they have the power potentially to do more of the buying out.
Okay.
Okay. But then if you also look at them, there's also potential for them to be acquired. And I think their acquirers then are at another level, right? I'm talking about like big IT shops, big IT vendors, right? The Oracles of the world, those sorts of people of the world.
Okay.
So I think either they are eaters,
Yes.
they're not going to get eaten. Or if they are eaten, they're eaten by somebody outside of the four.
A lot of hedging in this prediction.
A lot of hedging.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to, right? But my point is, at the end of the day, you're going to have like less players left over. That's the goal, right? Of the prediction.
Yeah.
Now you look at Nabla and you look at Suki.
Suki.
By the way, Suki means happiness in Sanskrit.
Is that like?
And it's also a Japanese
it's
meaning.
Suki, as far you know.
Suki or Suki. So there's a Japanese translation to it, but there's also a Sanskrit translation.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the guy's Indian, so maybe I was going that way.
Okay. All right.
But I know that they all sort of have a little bit of differentiation amongst each other. Right?
Okay.
So like Ambience is probably kind of like the bigger fish, and Abridge is, and Ambience does a little bit more ICD-10 and CDI documentation. Nabla is a little bit more pharma friendly.
Okay.
Right. As one of my friendly insiders told me that Suki's doing a lot more RCM stuff.
Yes.
Right. So they sort of have they're starting to sort of carve out that little bit of like differentiation amongst themselves. Right.
Okay.
So take a look at Suki, for example. Who is their big backer?
Zoom.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Zoom it, right?
Yeah.
Why not? Right? You already have a partnership, deep integrated partnership, and deep investment.
Yes.
I mean, come on. Like when something like that happens, you have a big quote unquote technology firm on your cap table. What's stopping them from saying, "Hey, we're going to double down here"? And maybe Zoom is the potential acquirer there, right? So there's a very
and they'll
easy one
continue
there.
to do healthcare after Zoom. Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
You didn't ask me that.
I didn't
I'm
ask you
here.
that. Sorry.
All right.
True.
And then Nabla on the pharma side. I mean,
Yeah.
look at now. Look at what pharma is starting to do. You have
Yeah.
another story you're going to talk about with pharma in a second with AI and tech.
Yeah.
They're listen, kudos to these people. I think the payers, pharma, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, you would never see these people getting out of their lanes.
Yes.
And they're
true.
just driving like drunk people going out, like going into different lanes and everything. Because the lane is becoming this massive one lane.
It's all blurring.
It's
yes.
just blurring, right?
Yeah.
There's all these blurred lines, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, I think pharma could
Yeah.
play, right? But then again, look, outside of it, any big IT shop or whatever could come and buy any of them. But I think the more likelihood is that the ones not labeled A are
Gobbled
the
up
ones that are
first.
eaten,
Yes.
and the other two are eaters.
Eaters.
But they all could be eaten.
Yes.
So it just
hedging.
depends.
All right.
Hedging.
That's fine.
But I truly do believe 12
Yeah.
to 18 months,
So we'll watch the
70+%, there's going to be consolidation.
Yeah.
It has to be. This cannot survive. They can't survive.
Yeah.
And then here's the other thing. Look, revenue is the leader here. Okay?
Yes.
Revenue predicts all. If you start seeing some of these guys get more than 50% of revenue coming from certain customer, that customer could be an acquirer as well.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the other thing. So what are you going to look for? Watch my friend at MedCity News
Oh, Lord.
for little tidbits that they're dropping by. Because I think this is one thing that you start seeing when something like this happens. Reduction in product and R&D spend, and you start seeing more ramp up in sales announcements, partnership announcements. Those sorts of things, to me, are indicators that something's coming.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Fair enough.
start seeing those sorts of news starting to float around.
Yeah.
Big raises start floating around. I think those sorts of things.
Well,
are
how
sort of
much money,
indicators.
more money will these people raise? They've already
Dude, seriously,
raised.
you know what? I've heard like E's and F's. I still haven't seen a G
Series
series
G.
G, but I have seen an F.
Yeah.
We have seen E's. We've seen
Yes.
F's. Haven't seen a G yet.
We haven't seen a G yet.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
Haven't seen a gangster raise yet.
all right. Now on to other. You teased it a little bit.
Yeah.
Pharma and tech relationships, and I agree with you completely. Right. The pharma and tech relationships, all the digital therapeutics relationships failed massively.
Yeah.
I've heard things like, digital therapeutics was a technology in search of a problem, and so it didn't really work with pharma. But I think there was a lot of cultural issues too. Pharma didn't really see the value in stuff like
It was
this.
timing as well.
and
These
timing
guys were
too.
like, "What the heck is this?"
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So-
And now I think those have gone away. So let's talk about that kind of relationship. I think the biggest news last month was the announcement that Nvidia
Yeah.
is working with Eli Lilly to create this AI supercomputer for drug discovery. I think that's really, really interesting. But the idea of AI drug discovery is not new at all. Think about Recursion Pharmaceuticals, Exscientia, all these companies that were in the space really talking big about AI in drug discovery, how it would reduce the time to find these druggable targets, these molecules, and then it would cut down on R&D expense, timelines, you commercialize drugs much, much faster. That was the story. That was the promise. Has not really been realized. I think STAT has reported, we've also reported that it's really vague what is actually a molecule or a drug that's been designed by AI. Some people, I think STAT has written stories that they're exaggerating. They're taking existing drugs, putting a little AI twist to it and saying that this is AI drug discovery. STAT has also reported on how, Recursion and Exscientia haven't done well. And so Recursion was able to buy Exscientia for a lower valuation.
Yeah.
There's another story where I think Deep Genomics CEO has said that
Yeah.
it's just been failure after failure in AI
Yeah.
drug discovery. So why is this big news then? The only thing I can think about is because it's Nvidia. And again, disclaimer here, I own stock in the company.
Who doesn't?
Well, through an inheritance, I didn't really buy it on my own. My dearly departed brother used to work there, worked with Jensen and their CFO. So, I'm not saying this to have the stock shoot up.
Yeah.
Just disclaimer here.
Not that anyone of us would mind.
Whatever. But, so there are two things. One is, is this more AI hype in this drug discovery space? Or do you think because Nvidia's tech stack is respected, that these guys might have a better chance than all these other guys in the field?
So look, I am a diplomat's son. So
Yes.
hedging is like my best
Your
strategy.
your
Okay?
DNA is in your
Is my
DNA.
DNA.
Okay, all right.
But honestly, I think there's always hype when you get two big giants, right? So
Yes.
let's just put that aside. I think there's a part of it that is like definitely like like it's hype driven.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the reason it has legs is you've mentioned some of these things, right?
Yes.
So Nvidia,
Legit company.
big guy
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
space, okay?
Yeah.
And Nvidia has been playing in this whole genetic space and discovery space and data mining space in the life sciences biospace
For a while.
now. This is not new to them.
No.
Okay.
No.
They've got accelerators, incubators. They've got like 100 plus companies down the street, right? Like
Yes.
kind of doing this.
Yeah.
So I think that's not new to them. The other thing when you mentioned, look, it's the history of business. Timing is like 50% of the battle.
Very
okay.
true.
Before there was a Facebook and a Twitter and Instagram, there was Friendster and MySpace. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just being honest, right? There's
MySpace,
always that
yeah.
first mover. People think first mover is bad. No, actually, the market has shown that you probably don't want to be first.
Yeah.
So I think hopefully there's a lot of lessons that have been learned,
Okay.
right? And then, but there's also on the flip side, you really have to understand what part of that whole cycle are you going to focus on. Because preclinical, clinical trials, all that sort of stuff, some of that stuff still needs to be done.
Yeah.
And some of that focus that AI has sort of generally done on the health system side, or there's a lot of AI companies that are even being homegrown by health systems for faster patient recruitment for clinical trials. So there's a lot of different elements and pieces to this.
Yeah.
I know they're more focused on the actual molecule drug discovery piece of that.
Right.
So the reason I sort of give it a little bit more chance is that, look, hopefully they're learning from lessons learned, right? Like the stuff that's happened before. Right? And then, of course, the players that are involved, right? And then Lilly, too. I mean, honestly, like if you sort of watch Lilly in terms of in the news the last 12, 18, 24 months, big moves, big swinging moves, right?
In AI?
In AI, but also in general in terms of just how they're taking the market forward, right? I mean, they're buying other molecules, they're getting involved in every single thing from a GLP-1 perspective and everything. So this is just part of that whole sort of aggressive nature that they're showing.
Okay.
And so I think it's sort of, and they've been sort of utilizing AI on the R&D side themselves already. Like it's not sort of foreign to them. I think it's just a natural progress. Look, the other thing I'll say is this is bound to happen.
Yeah.
It's just again, we go back to timing. So the question is, okay, it started years ago, it failed. Is this the right time, or are we still going to have to wait for another cycle before it's the right time?
Okay.
Right? This is definitely going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
It's just like it's going to get there. The world's going to get there.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of, are these guys going to be the ones who are going to sort of pave the road? Is that are the lessons learned happen? Right? Were those guys the Friendster and the MySpaces, and are these guys really the Facebook and the Instagrams and the Twitters? So we'll just find out.
We shall see. Now moving on to Bollywood and Hollywood drama. So
more predictions?
No predictions. It's just pure drama and palace intrigue. I love these two pieces of
intrigue.
news.
I love this.
So in HHS, this I shouldn't say lower, but virologist who was aligned with RFK Jr. Was fired. And when he was fired, he was fired apparently for cause. He was not touting, there was a gap between his policy making and his and leadership and whatever it is. The HHS asked him to resign. He did not resign, and so they let him go. Basically, they're saying that he also misrepresented himself. He said he was chief medical officer of this response group, like critical response group, and he pushed back. He talked to the New York Times, and Bloomberg reported it first. So Bloomberg reports it first. New York Times does a follow-up interview in which New York Times talks to this gentleman, Stephen Hatfield, and Mr. Hatfield says essentially that, look, this is my business card. You can see I'm not misrepresenting myself. But it seemed very interesting that a person aligned with RFK was getting fired. So I immediately thought, now people who are fired are sometimes brought back in this administration. We
Sure.
have seen that, but I'm wondering, there have been stories in Politico and in other places that the medical community, doctors especially, are really upset with RFK, and they feel that HHS and CDC and all these places, the science is not leading,
Of
the
course.
evidence is not leading. That's what they feel. So the fact that this gentleman was fired, and he's claiming that he's fired because there's a coup against RFK Jr. And so maybe he was trying to warn RFK that, look, you might be next. All of this is making me feel is sort of the evidence side winning out. He was actually accusing RFK's chief of staff of
Right.
orchestrating
The ouster.
of the ouster and essentially leader of the coup, I guess. But I don't know. Aside from the Bollywood drama aspect of it, the fact that someone who didn't look so highly on COVID-19 vaccines and the fact that he has been ousted, does it mean that science is coming back? I don't know. I don't know. No.
No.
It's just one.
But this is Hollywood and Bollywood. We need to continue to lean into that.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Well,
So, and my hedging here is more firings to come. Okay. That's my hedging. Okay. No, but honestly, yeah, this is one of those weird ones, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, dude, you agree with my stuff. Like, why
Yeah.
am I getting kicked out?
Yeah.
It is totally around ego, misrepresentation, messaging, like messaging that he's doing out there.
He meaning who? Steven or
Steven,
RFK?
right? Steven's doing, hey, I'm CMO. It's more around that stuff. And
Yeah.
it's like, whoa, dude, whoa, slow your roll.
Yeah.
I'm the ego in the room, not you, right? No, I'm serious. I'm just being honest.
Samir is all about
No, because
ego.
if this guy is already agreeing with you, he's
Yeah.
in line with you, it's got to just be like ego. Hey, I had a cupcake on the table. You stole my cupcake. Like I agree.
Oh.
You and I both agree that the ingredients of the cupcake are the same, but you ate it. Like, why did you eat my cupcake? But I'm
I
telling
just
you.
love how Samir speculates with such
No,
grand gestures
No,
and
but
stories.
I think it's true. I think it's literally like, hey, you know what? Like, you're not following. Like, nobody told you you're CMO. How can you call yourself CMO?
But he had a business card that
Dude,
apparently said.
it's called Staples.
No way.
Okay,
No.
did you check the watermark? Hey,
All right.
New York Times, Bloomberg, did you check the watermark? Was there that little engraving? It's like the dollar bill. Did you hold it up and see it? Right? Like, I don't know. Like, my point is, who knows who built it? Who knows who created it?
Yeah.
But the honest thing is that, look, RFK has not changed his tune. He is trying to get people in there that are going to follow his agenda, right? And his agenda is alternate. It's alternate. It's there's no
It's not mainstream.
It's
Yeah,
not mainstream.
Sure. Yeah.
So like even people who have been there, who he thought were gonna follow him, and then they showed up and they said, "Yeah, dude, I'm gonna follow science," and then he's like, "You're out of here."
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I thought it was like interesting that someone aligned is being let go. So that was Bollywood drama, the hint of a coup and all of that. And then there's a Hollywood drama out of Texas. So Texas Attorney General, the controversial Ken Paxton, he has sued J&J and Kenvue, the makers of Tylenol, saying that for years, these two companies have been selling Tylenol to pregnant women by underplaying the risks to pregnant women. And so it sounds like, why am I calling it Hollywood
boy.
drama? I kind of feel like this is the modern Aaron Brockovich. You know the story of PG&E and Aaron Brockovich right here in the Bay Area. So is Ken Paxton the champion of pregnant women trying to reduce all kinds of risk? By the way, we don't know what the risks are. There isn't any clear risk that I understand from Tylenol to pregnant women. So
hell no, dude, it's crazy. I'm sorry, it's acetaminophen.
I know.
Right?
But
so
there's an actual lawsuit that J&J and this company, a maker of Tylenol, have to defend.
Great. This is just hey, I need attention.
I don't know. It's also taxpayer dollars of Texas, so we'll see.
We'll see. Is that shocking to you?
TBD. This one's TBD.
It's shocking to you. It's not shocking to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm supposed to be skeptical and jaded as a journalist, but I hold out hope that government officials will act responsibly.
Yeah, but how can, this is not backed from, okay, fine, great. You're going to provide evidence?
Well,
Have you been running sort of trials in the background?
I hope they do, because
Right?
that's the only way,
Yeah, that's the only way that
Yeah.
people, or I would sit there and go, oh yeah, oh wow, look at the
Yeah.
data, great.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
So let's
no.
hope there is some data over there.
Don't hold your breath.
And on that note, thank you so much for watching. We're at the end of this episode.
Thank you.